Hai vinto? Ma tu sei sicuro che hai decide sì?
Please can die. I'm making an offer you don't refuse. Don't worry.
50 years ago, The Godfather Part II hit movie theaters and went on to achieve unprecedented acclaim, setting box office benchmarks and making Oscar history with a record 5 acting nominations. This week, a new podcast, The Godfather, a film we can't refuse, was released by Audible and Paramount Pictures, a division of our parent company, Paramount Global, who, as you may know, was behind the award-winning trilogy. Well, to mark the golden anniversary of the classic, we took a look at how that production brought star power to a corner of New York City in the middle of hard times, and how connections to that neighborhood helped plant roots that remain today. When Francis Ford Coppola nabbed his Oscar for Best Director, he was about to make history. The Godfather Part II won Best Picture. It's the only movie franchise to win that category for both its original and its sequel.
I know it was you, Fredo.
Do you recall seeing The Godfather Part II for the very first time?
Oh, of course.
What was your impression?
That it was even better than the first part, which I thought was a masterpiece.
Noted film historian Foster Hirsch says it's all about the acting. We spoke to him at New York's Salmagundi Club.
Really what we're seeing was a perfect example of what the kind of acting.
Michael, you haven't heard me.
Method, naturalism.
What do you want from me?
Real behavior.
Do you expect me to let you go?
Coppola relied heavily on that technique, and those who practiced it, stars Al Pacino and cast newcomer Robert De Niro, along with the champion of method acting, famed acting coach Lee Strasberg.
This country has had rebels for the last 50 years.
In his first major film role,
Michael,
mob kingpin Hyman Roth.
we're bigger than U.S. Steel.
The film mirrored much of Strasberg's own life, including being marked for quarantine as a child at Ellis Island.
Lee Strasberg grew up on the Lower East Side in a Jewish community, which wouldn't have been that different from the bustling Lower East Side Italian immigrant community we see in the film. His first theater-going experiences were of the kind that the Robert De Niro character has in The Godfather.
Working on the film gave Strasberg more than just a chance to reminisce.
It was like almost mandatory as an actor. Go to the actor's studio.
It also reunited him with his students, from Pacino
People, Brando, James Dean, Paul Newman, on and on.
to Francesca Di Sapio.
He was a father to a lot of people.
What was he to you?
To me, he was everything. I mean, he was a master.
Yeah, but that's one of the things which...
There is a difference between great teachers and masters, and he was a master.
Di Sapio played a young Carmela Corleone. What was your experience working with Francis Ford Coppola?
Oh, he was wonderful.
We spoke to her at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute.
He was fatherly too, protective. It was very easy to shoot, to work with him because he let you free. The real talent of a director is to know actors that you don't have to direct, that you know how to choose them to the point that you don't have to direct them.
They say he was a method actor, director.
Right, probably, yeah.
That meant recreating a slice of early 20th century New York on the Lower East Side.
I like my films to be what they're about. I like to always use what the themes or the situations are in actually making it.
The whole street was recreated, and that was kind of exciting. The whole street just changed, and they made it to look like the period.
Transforming an entire block on East 6th Street.
It came like a tourist attraction at some point.
Yes, it was.
I mean, everybody was, oh, mira, está filmando una película, ya la sé,
It was
vamos
a
para
big
allá.
thing.
And then, it looked vintage, you know what I mean?
Pepe Flores and Kiki Cotto were living around the corner when production began. They're still fixtures at their local social club, La Sala de Pepe.
My first apartment on 3rd Street was $75. The bathroom had, you remember The Godfather, when Michael, they put the gun in the
Yes.
yes.
The tank was up
My
high.
bathroom had that without the gun.
Without the gun. The production seemed to be a breath of fresh air.
Seeing people dressed, you know, like from the 20s or the 30s, you know, the horse-drawn carts, people, you know, acting, you know, different from what we are usually see over here.
We used to run out of school. We would stand by the police guard to see what was going on. It was a big attraction for a 13 or 14-year-old to see something like that.
You can't work on this level without the cooperation or at least the goodwill of the people who live here.
But the film unwittingly sparked controversy, all laid out in Mark Kitchell's 1975 documentary, The Godfather Comes to 6th Street.
I say, I'm from the block, I'm half Italian, can I get in the movie?
Ben Sindan-Foley
No.
and Lynn Pentecost
And we're really getting a raw deal.
led protests in '74 because they say producers ignored an agreement to hire residents from their neighborhood.
They didn't deliver. They didn't keep their promises.
We weren't naive in negotiating with the film company.
And I realized, you know, we're going to have to take off the gloves on this one, and we did.
The demonstrations briefly stopped production.
Came down from my apartment one day, and he's standing there, and he said, "Are you the guy shutting down my movie?" Yeah, Mr. Coppola, I did that. I'd shut it. I'd do it again.
Until Paramount made the Block Association an offer
I'm making an offer, you don't refuse.
they didn't refuse. $5,000. Money spent planting trees.
We became, you know, one of the first blocks to have trees on the Lower East Side. Some of them are still there, and we're very proud of that. We changed life down in these here parts.
Spreading roots that helped grow a green movement in a once neglected part of the city. Quite a legacy for a production that over 50 years has left an indelible mark on cinema.
I mean, the acting in this film is unbelievable from beginning to end. We don't see its like anymore. We just don't.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. Tell me a performance as good as Brando, Pacino, and De Niro in The Two Godfathers.
You're gonna have to give me some time to think about that. But I'll come back at you at some later date.
Okay.
How about that? I tell you, I never heard the story of the trees on the Lower East Side. That was fascinating to learn about, the documentary. But such an unprecedented film. 11 nominations, 3 in the Best Supporting Actor category alone, including Lee Strasberg, of course. Robert De Niro won. And this film, it outperformed the original. It won 6 Oscars. And the original only won 3.
And the Lee Strasberg story is so great. The legendary acting coach makes his first appearance in a role.
And nails it.
Just nails it.
amazing.